Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Julie Bartkus. Welcome to the Child Care Business Success Show. We're getting a little bit of a late start tonight, but we've got a hot topic that's going to be well worth the wait. It's all about transforming turnover into team success. And if you're here, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And even if you tune into the replay of this live broadcast, say hello. And joining me in just a couple of moments is my Chief of Happiness, Loretta Chalk. And we're going to hear her storm update, her travels with her little house, and dive right into the topic. So if you have questions regarding turnover, please leave them for me below. And if we don't get to answer your questions on this show, I will personally come back and read through the comments and get you some replies, because this is a hot topic. And this is one of the parts of the super problem in the childcare industry, which is staff motivation as a whole. So if you're experiencing turnover, you're probably feeling some pain around it. So I want to address this evening how you can take this turnover, transform it into staff retention, but more so success on a long-term ongoing basis. Now, if this sounds like a great topic to you, give me an "oh yeah, Julie." Let me know that you're excited to tune in. And of course, if you've got any questions, feel free to list them below. Also, Jana and Loretta will be interacting with everybody as we progress this evening. And and we've got some great prizes for engagement too. And I'll have Loretta come on and she could tell us a little bit about our prizes. But turnover, is it a problem for you or not? Have you conquered it? If you conquered turnover, maybe you could give us some comments on how you've conquered it. But if you want tips and strategies for transforming turnover into team success, that's what we're talking about for the next 30 plus minutes. So I'm going to welcome up to our broadcast Loretta Chuck, who's my Chief of Happiness. And we're going to hear how things are going with Loretta. Hey, Loretta. Let's get
Hey, Julie. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
So we'll talk about each of our journeys. So I'll tell them a little bit about mine for the past couple of days, but I also want to hear about yours. You packed up your tiny home. I called it a little home, but it's a tiny home. You packed it up, you moved it to a safe location, then you came back. What did you learn in the process, and how did things turn out for you?
Wow, I learned so much. First and foremost, we proved that the tiny house could be moved successfully. I learned how to unhook the sewer part of that tiny house, which I have never, ever in my life attempted to do. So that was something new.
Right.
I learned about leveling the tiny house. That was also something I'd never had to do. So I did a lot of brand new things, but also planning ahead and being prepared for the worst, even though the worst doesn't necessarily happen. There's a plan in place, and it just makes life less stressful. It was a lot of work to get that plan in place, but I'm so glad that we made the choice to take the tiny house, even though we really didn't get any rain or any of the horrible forecasts that they were saying was coming to this specific area. I know there are people out there who are really hurting right now, and my thoughts and prayers are absolutely with them. But I'm just so grateful. It was an incredible experience. We had a few days of relaxation that we weren't planning on, which was rejuvenating. So raring to go today.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you are safe, and it sounds like your property was all safe.
Absolutely.
So you were able to take your tiny house, move it, and move back, and you were in the clear. If anything, you had an adventure, right? And I really believe that everything that happens to us in life, to me, life is all about lessons and love. How much can we learn, and how big can we love? So everything that happens to you, including turnover in your childcare programs or other situations that unfold, I encourage you to really think about the blessings and the gift in it. And you might say it's a gift this person left, or it's a gift that this came and hit, whatever it might be, but always be looking for the gift in the different situations that unfold, and that will help you successfully navigate through it. So was there anything that you learned through the process, a new lesson for you, Loretta?
Oh my goodness. I think just again, being prepared and having kind of a contingency plan for everything. And not that I didn't know that before, but it's just nice to kind of have those things brought back up before you, and knowing that no matter what, God's got my back. He sent the perfect people to help out. I found a complete and total stranger to help move the tiny house, and he was amazing, and loved helping out. He'd never done anything like that before, and we met some incredible people. So no matter what your situation is, good, bad, ugly, it does not matter. You can always make the best of it. You can always make new connections and lifelong friends, and people that we met up in Pennsylvania far, far away are following our journey on lily pad life now because, we had a chance encounter. So I just think no matter what, you can always find something good in any situation.
And so often we're afraid of change in our childcare programs. And you have a little girl who's involved in this too. You're Olivia. And was there anything that you did specifically to prepare her for the change? Because I really believe, and I know we want to establish routine and that sort of thing with the kiddos, but I really believe that if we raise our young children to be adaptable to change, it will serve them well in their life. So, Loretta, how does Olivia? I imagine Olivia deals amazingly well with change, but how do you feel she does? And was there anything that you did to prepare her for the change? Because change is really tough for many, many people. But I think if we start with a mindset as a youngster that change is good, change is fun, change is exciting, we're going to be much more equipped to deal with it as an adult.
Yes, I absolutely think that. I mean, since she was a year old, she's been, well, since before she was born, she was with me every day. But when I was regional manager, she was in a different school with me every single day, and we would talk about it, and this is where we're going to go, and this is who your teacher will be, and kind of giving her that preparation. And the same thing in this event, we talked about the incoming storms, and she definitely has some fear and panic around storms. There was a tornado that went through not a couple of years ago, I guess now, and it really, really frightened her, even though it wasn't right at our house. It went over our house. So those kinds of things we talked through, and I gave her things that were her responsibility. Her loft was her job, and she needed to back it up, and I gave her some guidance as to how secure things needed to be, and she got to work. And I mean, that girl worked so hard to get this house ready, and I gave her the job of taking out all the screens from the lofts. And so I gave her specific tasks, and then once we got there, she had specific things that she was able to do. She immediately made friends with other kids that were in the campground, and come to find out they actually live at our campground down here, and we just never met them. So it was a really cool experience for her to make new friends that she gets to keep, even though now we're back in Virginia. But yes, she deals really very well, probably better than I would say the average child, because her life has been full of transitions. But as with anything, if you can kind of talk through and go through the different scenarios that are possible, it really helps her in kind of thinking through what might happen. And then when those things actually do happen, she knows what to do to work her way through them, because we've already talked them through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great. Well, I'm thrilled that you guys are back in your home. And I had a couple of engaging couple of days too over the weekend. I decided, and I'm not going to tell you too much about the event, but I'm going to tell you some of the important things about going to an event. And there's been coaches and mentors that I've had for a number of years, and I've invested lots of money, probably upward about $70,000 in coaches, in mentors. And you might think, oh, that's crazy. And it must be nice to have that money. And I want to tell you something. I want to tell everybody a secret that when you feel a desire to work with a certain coach or to go to a certain program, the money is probably not going to be there. And you have to really come to terms with, I just have to make the decision that I need to go, I need to be there, and trust in the universe that the how will show up. And every time I go to uplevel my mindset, the universe or my subconscious will be like, oh, well, wait a second, you don't have time, or the extra funds aren't there. What are you thinking? But when I do go and I show up, my mindset is totally, up leveled. And this past Friday and Saturday, Loretta was asking me, like, I want to hear all the details about it. Um, so I'll give you some of the details. But I spent Friday and Saturday, and I went to a workshop with one of my mentors. And again, it was a lot of content that I heard over and over and over again. But I really believe that the key to achieving greater levels of success in your life is to know and to really understand that repetition is the key to success. So even if you heard something, it doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you understand it or that you grasp it or are able to implement it. You might logically grasp the concept. You might logically go, okay, that makes sense. And I've heard that before. But have you done it? Have you implemented it? And that's why I went back to this training, because I went and I wrote down pages of notes, everything I knew. I was like, okay, okay, okay. But I agreed with myself that I was going to go in, totally empty my cup, write things down as they were fresh and they were new. And I was going to learn something that would make my time and my money investment so crazy
Mhm.
worthwhile. And it was. But you've got to really understand repetition is the key to success. Every time you hear an idea or concept that you haven't implemented yet, it's going to give you a reminder to implement that thing. And if it's something that you've heard and you've implemented it, when you hear it again, you're a different person. You're completely different if you're doing this right. And then you'll hear it in a different way and be able to implement it on a deeper level.
Mhm.
And Loretta, from being at some of our events, that's what we teach too, is that, it's about repetition and really making that time and money investment. And a lot of times in this industry, we're like, well, I already know that I learned it. Why should I pay for it? But you've got to know that the people in this world who are the most successful utilize coaches and mentors. And they always have their posse of success people around them. Even Oprah Winfrey has a coach or two. So don't think and don't try to be superwoman or superman saying I could do this all alone. It's really a tough road to go all alone. So come and be with a coach or a mentor and change your life in record time. And and that's what we try to do here at Childcare Business Success. And we've got an event coming up. I'll tell you more about that later on, but it's the Create My Dream Team experience. And if you're struggling with staff turnover, or staff motivation issues or your own self motivation, this is an event that you need to be at. Come and use it as your launching pad. And all you have to do is go to rockmychildcare.com, and that page will give you more information about the event. But Loretta, have we seen lives being changed?
Oh, so changed and almost instantaneously. Like you see that light bulb come on, and they just know right then and right there, these are the shifts that they're going to make. And their mindset just is so powerful that those few sentences or golden nuggets that they take away, it immediately starts to make that change. And then moving forward, life is completely different. It's so cool to watch that happen.
Yeah, and it's really important. And I spent 2 days with my mentor, 2 days in an intensive this weekend. I gave up my weekend. And then today I took 3 hours to work with a coach as well over the phone, where we were going over strategy and different things. So it's so important for you to incorporate this as a piece of your success puzzle. Many of you are look at this puzzle and go, oh my goodness, how in the world am I going to put this together? You get a coach in place or a strategist or a consultant, and you will have results in record time. It is amazing. So, Loretta, let's give everybody the lowdown or the rundown on our prize giveaways for tonight. And then we're going to get into our topic of turning turnover into team success.
Okay, well, we have two prizes that we are giving away every single week. The first one is brownies, and we all know they're the best brownies in the whole entire world.
On the
And
planet.
yes, I mean,
Yes.
and they're so easy to win. The only thing that you have to do to win brownies is engage and participate. That means that you're commenting when Julie asks for an oh yeah, you're oh yeahing. And when she says, do you have questions? You are asking questions. You are sharing from your wealth of experience, because we have so many people in this community who have just, I mean, probably thousands of years of experience when you put us all together. And what one person experiences can really bless another person. So being able to say, yes, this has happened to me too. And this is how I handled it, or here's an idea of what I might do. It just really helps to build that sense of community and your engagement as we are going through this live show together. Can mean that you win brownies. So Jonna and I are watching and reading your comments and your oh yeahs and your questions and kind of keeping a general track. We're not tallying and saying, well, Fred has 5, but Tom has 6, therefore Tom wins. It's really just the level of engagement that we're seeing. So just participate, and it makes for a really fun and exciting show. And you may walk away with brownies. The second prize is a marketing video, and that prize is won throughout the week by your engagement on all of the posts. So, not just during the Child Care Business Success show, but throughout the week. So, when there are questions or comments or other posts, jump in, share your 2 cents, give 2 thumbs up, whatever it is that shows that you are engaging in the community throughout the week, and you can win a video. You can use it for marketing your program, for sharing your birthdays of the kids or the team. You get to choose. It's your video. But we cannot wait to see those videos come to life. So that is how you win the second prize.
Yay. And that is true. We can't wait to see those videos come to life. Yeah, and also make sure that you tell your other communities about us. So let them, if you're ever part of any directors groups or owners groups, wherever you feel it's appropriate, let them know that the Child Care Business Success Show is happening, and tell people to come here, post your name in the comments section, and we'll go ahead and make sure that that's included for the prize giveaway. That counts. Also, if you're not yet part of our Childcare Business Success group, which is how you get the marketing video, I encourage you to come on over to our group page and join us there. Jonna will drop the link for you so you can be a group member if you are not yet a member. But that's an exciting place to be too. We got lots of great conversation. Like today, we were talking about how many how many call outs people have today. So we've got all kinds of people commenting from 0 to many on how many turnovers they have. All right. So Loretta, are we ready to dive into the topic?
Yes, dive deep, get your
Okay.
goggles on, go for it.
All right. So we're going to have a conversation about transforming turnover into team success. And Loretta and I will be chatting about this. Let me hide our names for a second here so I can get this lower. All right. So we're going to be talking about this, but we want to really understand what your questions are around turnover and how you transform that into team success. Now, there is a lot of pain that happens with turnover. When it happens, there's pain for you, there's pain for your clients, there's also pain for staff. When turnover happens, did you know that studies show that when one person in an organization turns over, 4 to 6 other people are greatly impacted? So how we deal with and navigate that change when turnover happens is critically important. And Loretta was sharing with us her change and how she's handling it with Olivia. But we also have to look at that organizationally. So when turnover happens, number one, we want to help you to be successful with that. And number two, how can you actually start transforming that into team success? So who's ready to talk about pain? If you're in pain over turnover that happens, or if you've been in pain previously, give us an oh yeah in the comments. And then Loretta and I are going to talk a little bit about some of the pain that we see in the childcare programs that we work with and for some of our clients in our childcare business success community. So is there anything that pops out to you, Loretta, in terms of a strong pain that our directors, our owners, or staff members or clients shift into when turnover happens?
I think there's such a fear involved with the the change, especially if it's a team member who has been valued and the parents really like them or the kids really like them. We as administrators go to this place of fear that says, oh, well, everybody's going to leave because this person was so awesome. And, no one is perfect. And again, it's in that mindset of someone better is out there, and it's okay. You don't have to like the fact that someone has made a choice to leave your team. But it does not mean the end of the road. But boy, that fear factor really can take hold and just say, what are we going to do? I don't have anybody in the pipeline. How are we going to do this? How am I going to cover? And you just start spinning through all of these questions, and it just, you feel like you're in quicksand. And it's not a comfortable place to be. So definitely the fear is a huge factor in the process of turnover.
Yeah, and I think the fear it plays across the board between staff,
Mm-hmm.
between the leadership team, and among your clients. Everybody is fear based. So now the question that I want to answer for everybody, and Loretta, if there's any burning questions that come to your mind, please feel free to hop in and ask me a question, okay? Or if
Okay.
you see any coming through the comments of people having burning questions, let me know, and I'm going to keep you here with me so that you could just kind of wave at me and say, hey, what about this? Okay.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
so you'll be able just to interview me, turn the tables on me. But one of the things I want to say about the fear is that we could keep having the thoughts about fear, or we could cancel out those thoughts and start transforming them into success-based thoughts. And success-based thoughts are super, super hard to develop and to implement because our minds want to default to that negative place, especially when we start seeing things with our eyes that dictate less than ideal circumstances and situations. Meaning, you want to jump to a different place in your mind, but what you're seeing with your eyes is pretty darn scary. So, what the challenge is, and part of transforming turnover into success, is to really start thinking different thoughts about what you're seeing with your eyes. Now, this is really hard, but it is a mental exercise that will help you really transform your results. So, if you're a law of attraction person or you believe that we can attract situations and circumstances to us, you got to know that what you focus on expands. So, if we keep thinking fear based thoughts, then our staff are thinking fear based thoughts, and our clients are thinking fear based thoughts. So, everybody in our circle of influence, our energetic zone, is thinking fear based thoughts. Guess what's going to be expanding? Loretta, the answer is
Fear-based thoughts.
more fear-based thoughts, but more so, you're going to start seeing more of the results that you're thinking about consistently. And more so, you're going to start seeing more of the results that you consistently feel. So if you're actually feeling the fear, you're going to start bringing to life all the situations and circumstances that you don't want, which includes turnover. So then this can become a repeating pattern for you. So the only way that you could start breaking out of this repeating pattern is to start thinking different thoughts. So what does that look like? Now, if you're seeing turnover, you're having call outs, and it's like all of this is unfolding right in front of your eyes, it's really hard to start saying, oh, there's no turnover and everything is perfect. And, the Pollyanna syndrome is what I call it. So it's where we're really putting this positive spin on things. That to me is not an effective way at all because your mind is automatically going to go, well, that's a bunch of BS you're serving up, and it's not going to believe you. So the real opportunity is to start transforming your thoughts into something that is believable, but something that really excites you. So if you're thinking your fear-based thoughts like, oh my goodness, clients are going to leave, this and this and this, you want to start thinking, what's the gift in this situation? What can I be grateful for? What can I be thankful for? And what can I transform? Because the two words, grateful and thankful, are two of the most transformational words on the planet. And if you could culturally cultivate these two words, you have a dynamic formula for change in place. So when it comes to turnover, what can we be thankful for? We could be thankful that this is the opportunity to revisit our vision and to bring that to life. We could be thankful for the people who were here serving the kids and the energies that we're going to be attracting. So you really want to stay in the zone of being thankful and grateful to transform your results. Does that make sense, Loretta?
It makes perfect sense.
Good. And if there's any questions about these, what I'm saying here, suggesting, please list it below. How about you, Loretta? Any questions so far?
No, none have popped up in the conversation, but I am all about asking questions that I think other people are thinking. So, what happens when you've started thinking in a positive way, and you're still not seeing these results that you're thinking so positively? How do you maintain that and bring them into fruition?
And the real idea is to go beyond thinking positive thoughts. The real idea is to go to the place where you're actually feeling. So, for example, if you're dealing with a lot of turnover, how can you propel yourself into space where you actually feel like you hire people who show up and are committed and dedicated to your vision? And that's the place that you sit in energetically. So, I challenge everybody, and I was talking to some of my clients about this today, but really sit in that space for 5 minutes a day and adapt the feelings of what it would be like if your ideal circumstances came into fruition. So often they say when people win the lottery, they win millions of dollars. They're really quick to not have that $1 million anymore. So it might be a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months after you win the lottery and you're broke again. It's because our subconscious is fighting to put us right back in that place that we started. So we might do something or create something subconsciously that puts us right back where we were, or even to a worse place than we were before we won that $1 million. And you've heard stories after stories after stories, like they won a million, but now they're broken. And you're like, well, how can that be? But if you win $1 million and you've practiced for a year in your mind how it feels to be a millionaire, you're going to be much more acclimated to be in that space when it actually transpires and happens. So, part of this, Loretta, is really sitting in that space where you feel like you have the most amazing team working for you. Every morning they're lined up, they're coming in, they're at that door 5 minutes early, ready to punch in, get themselves organized so that they can be prepared to start the day. And that's what you visualize in your head. You visualize, nobody, there's the phone is quiet. Nobody's calling in. So you just keep visualizing all these different things that point in the area of success. But remember, it's not just the visualization, it's the feeling. So this is the law of attraction and the law of vibration working together to transpire, to bring about a bigger, better circumstance for you in your life. And this is true regarding turnover or regarding anything that you want to have happen. Does that make sense, Loretta?
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah,
does.
that's good. So keep in mind, it's not just about the thought, it is about the feeling. It's about the feeling. And that's where the real magic power lies in feeling that. So turning team turnover into team success, this is an opportunity when turnover happens to revisit the vision. Is your vision strong, compelling, and alive? Now, the vision dictates many things in your organization. If you've gotten our book, you know that I talk about our childcare business success model quite extensively in there. But the vision is the core, it's the center. And what we want to do is pull parents into a relationship with our vision that is so strong that they're still bought into it even when turnover happens. So when you start experiencing turnover, it's the time to start asking yourself, how can I bring the vision to life? And hopefully you're doing this way before turnover happens. But if you're in the mode where turnover is going on, that's a time to revisit the vision and say, am I bringing it to life? And are people bought into the vision? And if they're not bought into the vision, then you have to ask yourself, well, what can I do to start building relationships with our parents and with our staff and really selling them and getting them enthused and getting them excited about the vision and what we want to bring to life here at our childcare program. Sound good, Loretta?
It does. Okay, I have another question for you.
Yay, good.
So, what if I don't really know what my vision is? How do I share that with families or with the team?
It's important to establish a vision, regardless if it's a perfect vision or not, but there needs to be one. Your vision is the guiding force for your organization, and everything that you do needs to be an outflowing of that vision. So if we don't have a vision that's outlined, for our staff or that people are engaged in, I compare it to like when you're driving. Have you ever got caught on the road? And Loretta, my apologies if you're this vehicle, but if you, especially when you are moving your tiny house, but how many of you have ever gotten on the road and you're behind like a huge semi truck and you can't see anything that's in front of you or what's coming at you? How many of you like to stay behind that truck? If you like to stay behind that truck, let us know. And some of you may have been behind Loretta's tiny house. That's not so bad when you're driving the tiny house. But Loretta, maybe you were following in your vehicle or something behind your tiny house.
I have to say, I forgot that I was the chase car at least twice and like pulled out to go around it. And then I went, oh, wait, I'm supposed to stay back here. That's my job.
Right, right. But why did you do that? Why did you shift lanes?
Because I like to be able to see where I'm going.
Oh, right. As do team members. So even though it was Loretta's tiny house she was following, she pulled to a different lane because she didn't like to have her vision blocked.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're driving behind a truck, it creates confusion and we need to add clarity to the situation. So don't think about your vision, and we'll do a whole different topic on a whole different show on vision itself. But you've got to have a vision. And if you need help, reach out to me or my team and we'll get you my calendar and we'll get you started. But nobody likes to be behind that big semi truck unless you're, one of those oddballs who's like, if I drive behind the truck, it's going to help me save gas because then I could catch the wind of the truck. But typically we like to see where we're going. We like to have a clear view. And if something is in front of us that obstructs that view, like a big farmer truck or a trailer or whatever it is, we want to pull around it so we can see again. And that's the same thing with your team or your clients. They need to be able to see the vision. And it's up to us to bring it to the forefront of their mind so they're like, oh, okay, that's what it is. So remember that the vision is critically important in navigating through turnover, but it is also the opportunity to revisit it and say, when was the last time I engaged my parents and my staff with the vision? When was the last time they felt it? When was the last time they thought about what it really meant? And if you do this right and your staff and your parents believe in your vision, they're going to know that when turnover happens, that they are in trusted hands and that you will do your best to take it to the next level with them to where the vision is what is the focus. And most of us in our childcare programs have more loyalty to our people than we do to our vision. And that is an incorrect way to set up our organization. And then we have clients who are more dependent upon our people than they are sold on the vision. So now's the opportunity to really pull it back and say, okay, how do we sell the vision so that people are excited about that and they believe in me being the creator of the vision, that this is what I'm bringing to life, regardless of the organizational change that we may or may not experience. So that's really important. So start somewhere with something that you're connected to. And it could be 1, 2, or 3 lines. It doesn't matter. But I would say do not set a vision that we are going to be the best childcare program in such and such county. That really doesn't motivate too many people. The vision needs to be through the duration of our childcare program or, through us having our childcare program in place, we are going to impact the lives of 1,000 or 1 million kiddos in such and such and such and such a way. But too many people are using the vision of, our vision is to provide an educationally stimulating environment for the kiddos to learn. So it's something along those lines, which is a very common vision. We need to set ourselves apart by having a vision that is unique to us and that really excites the heck out of you so that you are the first one in line to say, oh my goodness, this is such an incredibly important vision. I can't wait to take steps today to make this happen. And only then when you have that vision in place will everybody else follow suit, and they'll also follow the amount of excitement that you have for the vision. What do you think, Loretta?
Oh, I could listen to you all day.
And it's your excitement. And over the weekend too, yesterday I stopped into this really cool consignment resale shop that I go to every so often. And they have a rewards program there. And the owner of the store was in and she was working the counters, and she's just this bubbly, like similar to our chief of happiness, just very bubbly, very alive. And she created this incentive program, her frequent buyers club. And it's not only you get a punch or whatever, but my mom went and purchased something, and my mom hit the certain dollar mark or made the purchase where she got like a $5 20% kind of thing off her next purchase. So the owner stood there with this huge smile on her face when my mom made her purchase, and she stood there ringing a bell. And she goes, congratulations, you just reached your 20% club membership and blah, blah, blah. And she's going, my mom's just looking around like, oh, okay. But the owner was so excited about this program that she created. She's standing there ringing this bell. Everybody else in the store is kind of looking, but she didn't care because she had loyalty to her vision. And she didn't need the approval of everybody else, but she wanted that customer to know you saved 20%. And in the process of letting that one customer know, she's letting the whole store know about her rewards program. But she was ready to be on fire with this crazy enthusiasm in spite of what other people thought or said or did. So, you really, really, really got to encompass that enthusiasm for your vision. And then everything else flows from there. But it's not just about your people. It's about your vision. And I even see people on social media highlighting their people. My person did this, this, and this, or it's this person's birthday. That's great. But you've got to sell people on your vision. So I want to see some social media posts about the vision and about what steps you're taking today to get closer to this vision happening. And once we get this formula right, we're going to be well on our way to being able to transform that team turnover into success. All right. Any questions, comments?
There have been some pretty good comments I've been seeing. Mindy said, "Nope, we are leaders. None of this following the truck business." I like that. That was good. And there are several who have families. They talked about how their families keep in touch even after their kids have graduated their program, that they've really developed relationships, and that's really fun to see. And then vision can change over time. Just because you write it today doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be tomorrow or 6 months or 10 years. I mean, it is something that's alive. So I like the comments that are coming in. That's really wonderful to know that you're not stuck with this vision that you've come up with on the back of a napkin because you need to have one. You can change it and make it truly fit what it is that you're working for, and then you're sharing that with your family and with your team, and it takes on a life.
Absolutely. And your vision should be growing and evolving. And if you're not growing and evolving, chances are your vision's not. Mm-hmm. But culturally, we should all be growing and evolving, and the vision does the same thing. It grows and it evolves, and you got to make sure that the vision is big enough. But we'll save that for a different show. But you got to make sure that it's just big enough that it excites you and excites your team. Because one of the things, or one of the reasons turnover happens, is because people are actively disengaged. Customers are actively disengaged. Staff members are actively disengaged. So when you turn them on, and I'm talking about their senses, their feelings, their thoughts, but you turn them on to the vision, that is powerful. And that's a huge step with really transforming that turnover, because then even when they have to leave, they'll be writing sappy goodbye notes saying, I can't believe I have to go because I love your vision. I love what you're doing here. And I'm so excited about this. And before we wrap up today, and we just got a couple moments left, I want to share with you another huge idea for transforming turnover into team success. And this is all about creating your processes. Every single time a team member turns over or somebody new starts, use the opportunity when you delegate to get your processes and systems in place, documented and ready to go for the next person who's going to be coming on board. So anytime you verbally delegate a task, have that person write the steps down that they heard, review the process, and then put that into your binder or into your project management system online. And that becomes part of your company processes. And the next time you have to delegate that task, you can pull out the process and say, here's the process that we have in place. You could do that written down, or you could do it with a video, or you could even have them recorded audio. But you want to make sure that you've got your processes down and every time you're delegating. And this is critically important to reducing the cost of turnover, because turnover will cost you, on average, they say about 30% of one person's annual salary when that person turns over. And the shorter they stay, the actually more expensive it is for you. So if you have somebody who's making $30,000 and they turn over in a few months, you could say, oh, that's about 30%. And it doesn't show up as a line item on your profit and loss statement, but it's an important number to really pay attention to. So even 30 times 30 is what, $9,000? So $9,000 might be what that one turnover cost you. So that's a whole other topic that we'll dive into someday, but do know that you can reduce the cost of turnover and transform this into team success by using it as an opportunity to define your processes and put your systems into place. And I know this is something that our organizations, even our multi-site clients, are always struggling with, is getting their processes down. So the sooner you get your processes in place and have a process for developing your processes, the better it's going to be. How's that, Loretta? How's that, everybody?
I love processes. That's so much fun for me. So
It
it's
is.
preaching to me because I love that part.
Yeah, and if you have any questions or comments before we wrap up, go ahead and leave them for us here for me. And even if you're tuning into the replay, I will come back and read through those and answer your questions. But this is a huge way to minimize the cost of turnover. All right, so Loretta, do you know who our winners are for this evening?
I do.
She already knows. All right, and I don't know. Yeah, Loretta, I know I said, here, I'll just show a couple comments here before we announce our winners. So Loretta says, you said a mouthful. Thank you. I think I did too. And Jana's posting some golden nuggets. So make sure you go back and read through some of Jana's comments, because she is posting some golden nuggets for everybody. All right, let me see. So what steps are you taking today to get closer to bring your big vision to life? Yeah, this is really important. And one of my clients, Mary, said that, let me hide this. She said that one of the biggest golden nuggets that she's got from working with me is really understanding how to have loyalty to the vision and not to your people. And in a way, it sounds a little cruel, right? But if our loyalty is to our people can change. Even our director, who is our best friend, our lifelong best friend, can up and quit in a moment's notice. And they don't have anything to lose except to say, I'm going to go take another job. And then you're stuck as the owner. If you're the owner tuning into this, you're the owner's like, oh, now what? So document as many processes and systems as you can, especially when new people start and when you're turning over. It's a great way to measure how successful are our processes and procedures going to be. So use that time. All right, Loretta, let's announce our winners. Who are they? So we've got brownies and a marketing video to give away.
Yes. Which do you want first tonight?
I don't know. We usually start like with our brownies. So maybe we'll start the marketing video. Let's do a marketing video.
Marketing video. Okay. Drum roll. Good one. I like it. And the winner of the marketing video this week, thank you for your participation and engagement, is Danielle DeCecca, or Secca, however she pronounces her last name.
All right, Danielle, congratulations.
I'm excited for her.
Very awesome. And please note too that Jana will be sending you a prize claim form if you did win. And if you won brownies, please allow 30 days to get your brownies. We try to get them to you right away, but sometimes it does take a little bit longer.
Sometimes I'll take a tiny house out of state and things get a little backed up.
Right. So Loretta does an amazing job staying on top of it. But yeah, keep in mind that allow us 30 days to get those off to you. All right. So brownies.
All right, another drum roll. Our brownie winner this week for engagement tonight is Miss Mindy Olson.
Woo, Mindy.
And
awesome,
Mindy.
Mindy.
Even said something about brownies at the beginning. I can't get back to that particular comment, but I think she was really excited about them right from the beginning. So
Well,
I
and I
know
think
she's going to be excited.
she won last week, right?
Oh, I wasn't there at the end, so I have not mailed them out. So she's going to get a double dose if she did.
Okay, so Mindy, congratulations. And Mindy, I know even though you're getting a double dose of brownies, it does not mean you have to share. Just so you know,
Right.
we're good with that. You don't have to share.
I'm fairly certain Mindy got brownies one time. She won them and then didn't get to enjoy any. So this one's
Oh,
all for you. Hide in a closet if you have to. They're your brownies. You earned them.
absolutely. And make sure we've got your right address. You'll be getting a claim form from Jana. So any questions regarding turnover and turning turnover? It's like a tongue twister. Turning turnover, transforming turnover into team success. If you do have questions, please leave them. And even after we wrap up the show, tag me. I will come back and read through your comments and answer your questions about turnover. But there is a way, and I think we've identified three major things tonight. One is working with your mindset and really sitting in the feeling. And I encourage you, if you can't even comprehend what it would feel like to have everybody showing up every day with smiles on their face, dancing through that door, to be part of your vision, start visualizing it. Visualize it every single day until you see the result. But don't just visualize it, feel it. What would it feel like? And the more you can warm up and get in touch with those feelings, the more successful you're going to be. Second thing is make sure you have more loyalty towards your vision than you do towards your people, and also get buy-in for that vision from parents, from staff, from families. Everybody's got to be bought into that, and you have to be the leader in that. You've got to be the one ringing the bell saying, oh my goodness, we just took a step towards getting closer to our vision today. That's got to be you. And then the third thing was to really look at your processes and use turnover when it happens as a time to put better processes in place, or when you do delegate to new staff, to document those processes so that you have them in development and you've got them in a binder, so that every time you delegate, it becomes easier, 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 easier. Now, there's one more tip. If you stayed with us till the end, you're going to get a secret tip here. There's one more thing I'm going to share with you, and then we're going to wrap up. Are you ready? If you are ready for this, give me an oh yeah. And I'm going to give you one more thing that will totally help you transform turnover into team success. Are you ready? Are you ready, Loretta?
I'm ready. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any idea what this is?
No, I honestly don't. I'm waiting to see. You have so many golden nuggets. I don't know which one this will be.
Okay. This is all about your interview process.
Ooh, good one.
Yes. So whenever you have turnover that happens, I want you to keep a turnover log, document why you feel that turnover happened. Even if you get some kind of crazy excuse, think about this, that most people do not give you the real true reasons why they're leaving when they leave. But if you know in your heart of hearts why they left, write it down. And then what I want you to do is look at the reasons that turnover happened and see if you could tailor your interview questions to help weed those people out in the future. So, to me, the interview process is successful when you develop personalized interview questions. So, when we ask people, well, what interview questions do you ask? What interview questions do you ask? We're not really thinking about it, and we're not going to be asking the right questions. You have to look at your mindset, the results that you're seeing with your eyes, and then learn to ask questions in the interview process that will help you transform your results. And this is one thing that we're going to be focusing on extensively during the Create My Dream Team experience. So I want you all to come on out to that. I don't care if you've got to walk there from California to Boston, but you
Start
need,
now.
right, but you need to be there. You need to be joining us in 3 weeks. It's the perfect time to book your flight. Go to rockmychildcare.com. Come be with Loretta and I for 2 transformational days on the 7th and 8th of October in Boston. And if you're not sure if this is the right event for you, please leave a comment or tag Jana or shoot me a private message, whichever is easiest for you, and we'll get you on the calendar so that we can have a conversation. But it's an event that you do not want to miss, especially if you're dealing with turnover and staff motivation issues. So go to rockmychildcare.com, join us for that event, and we can't wait to help you transform your childcare program. All right. How did you like that third thing, Loretta? Or that fourth? That was actually number
Fourth thing,
4. Fourth thing.
that was awesome. And just knowing some of the questions from the interview process that we came up with the last time that we had an event like this. I cannot wait to hear what new questions people come up with, because these are not your everyday, so tell me about yourself questions. These will change your life, the whole process. It's so cool to hear the way that people's minds work, and the things that they can ask to really get to the bottom of finding that perfect person that's going to be dreamy. So I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Yeah, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do is to come up with those customized interview questions and have everybody else listen in. So I could basically
Mhm.
take what problems you're having with turnover, why people are leaving, and say, okay, let's turn those into some interview questions. What would we ask to weed those people out? And it's a
Mhm.
powerful process. I encourage you, come on out and join me. Let's get some customized interview questions developed for your program. And it's priceless having those, because then once you understand the philosophy behind creating customized interview questions, you can take it and run with it, and it will work for you. And this is true with your help wanted ads, with everything from attracting to hiring to
Mhm.
retaining, motivating, and all the way up to firing. It's all got to be a flowing from your vision and all very customized to where you're at in your mindset and your leadership development. So I think we're going to wrap up our show. Loretta, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I had fun. I hope everyone else did too. It looks like they did. So, oh, you've got a question down there. You're going to have to answer.
Oh, are you going to write
Oh.
another book? Yes, yes, yes. I am. And right now I'm growing my list of different books I'm going to write. So I might have to throw some titles out there and see which one y'all want me to write first. But if you do have a topic you would like me to write about, make sure you put it in the comments and we'll see what the popular vote is. Thank you for that question, Loretta. So here, I'll show this one just because it's a really nice question.
It is a good
And
question.
it's been something I've been thinking about. So just goes to show you that, what to think about expands, because now people are starting to ask me about when's your next book coming out. So I can't wait to do the next one. I'm thinking about actually doing it all about staff to motivators. The next one, I feel a little inspired to do it on that one.
Mhm.
Oh, so stay tuned for details on that one. All right, everyone, we're going to say good night and thanks for joining us here on the Childcare Business Success Show. Thank you so much, Loretta. Fantastic to have you here. And you know where to find us. We'll be in the community group, our Childcare Business Success group. Donna, please post the link for everybody. If you're not yet a member, come on over and join us, and you're going to get a personalized welcome from us so that you feel part of our community right away. And I hope you've enjoyed this topic as much as I've loved presenting it. We'll be back next Monday, and we're probably going to stick with a little bit of a later time frame, but we'll be back next Monday. Stay tuned. It'll be like 6:15, 6:30-ish, but we'll announce that very shortly. All right. Bye. Thanks, Loretta.
Bye.